We got a package. Today we are unboxing a lot of 6 iPhones. An iPhone 6, 6 Plus, 2 6Ss, and 2 7s. They're all supposedly untested. They were only $30, and I don't really know the status of any of them. I know that only at least one of them is FMI off, but the others are completely unknown. A lot of them have cracked screens, but that's okay because I can just fix them or whatever. But it was a steal and deal, so we might as well check it out. Pretty cold. No FMI on this one, it says. I've always wanted a gold 6, 6S, 7. This one looks like it's water oh, it has something inside on the camera. It looks a little water damaged. This phone's probably had enough. 6S, this one's a European model because of the little tech stuff. This thing's been used and abused. Poor phone. And 6 Plus, this one I already know has an aftermarket screen, but it looks like, oh, it's cracked, it's whatever. But these phones were only like 30 something dollars, so I don't really mind the damage because they were so stinking cheap. So I guess we'll see which ones have power, and we will start plugging in phones, and we'll see what happens. Start off with the 6 Plus because this phone was shown as on already. Well, that kind of stinks, but the nice thing about this is I can bypass it. I guess I'll put this to the side of the iCloud lock pile, and I'll bypass this in a little bit. And I'll put whatever the least cracked phone is. I guess this, I guess I'll put this iPhone 7 on another charger, and I'll put some of the things on other chargers. So while this 6 in the rose gold 7 attempt to charge, I guess we'll plug in these two as well. The 6S and, oh, that's a very, very dirty charging port. I'll have to clean that out. Oh, so is this and the 7. And we'll see what shows some signs of life. This has a charging screen on it. This has nothing on it, so I have these plugged into my charger that show whether or not anything's receiving power. This doesn't look like it's getting power right now, so see what the 6 says. And it's not receiving power. So I'll put on the 6S and I'll take a look at some of these phones in a little bit. And I guess I'll be back soon with updates, hopefully. The 6S is receiving power, but I guess my charger doesn't want to show it. Yeah, it says on my power meter, it's drawing power. It's receiving power, so I guess my LED just went out. This is receiving power. Let's try this gold 6 again. I guess this one's battery's dead. I have a 6 battery that I can test it with. And the 7, it's getting just a little bit of power. This I'll come back to in a little bit, this gold 6. The 6S, I'll find another charger for it. And in a little bit, I'm gonna attempt bypass the 6 Plus. Yeah, so I'm just gonna let them charge for a little bit and soon attempt bypasses. All right, so I got a bigger charger and swapped a few things around. So everything's getting charging, even if the batteries don't work, like this one may not work, but everything's receiving some sort of power except the 6 Plus, which I'm actually gonna attempt to bypass in just a few minutes. And nothing's turned on as of yet, but most things are either showing like low battery screens or pixels if the screens are destroyed like the 7 is. But I'll go ahead and get started on bypassing the 6 Plus in a little bit, and I'll be back soon with an update. So we've got somewhat of an update. The 7 is disabled right now, so everything else is still charging of some extent, and I'm going to begin bypassing the 6 Plus. Well, I guess you could say a quick little update. The screen on the 6 Plus is cooked, and I'm having trouble with Sliver on my computer, so I will come back to that at some point later. Most of the other stuff is either turned on or attempted to turn on. The 7's turned on, and the 6S is turned on. The 6S screen's absolutely cooked, so I don't think it has a passcode on it, so I'm going to connect it to my computer and see what I can see on there. This, yeah, 7 screen's cooked. This one won't boot up for whatever reason. I think this battery's dead. And the other 6S is also booted up, but to the lock screen. So I'm going to visit this on the computer, and we'll be back. So a little update. The 6S is on the disabled screen. How? I can tell because I was able to go to the emergency screen. The touch still works. So for this, pretty much all the phones that won't turn on or whatever, I'm going to research the IMEIs in them all and see what is FMI on, what is FMI off, and find out what is worth my time putting into these phones. And yeah. So unfortunately, all of these, the 6Ss and the 7s are all FMI on, so I'm not going to proceed with any repairs. The only thing I will do is I will take this screen, put it on here just to see why this thing won't turn all the way on, but they're all FMI on. Honestly, I don't know if I'll sell them or if I'll just destroy them the rest of the way. This 6S is the only one with a good screen on it. I'll check this 6, and I guess I will throw on a battery in here to see what it'll do, but that's the unfortunate update for now. So I'll check this thing and maybe get a battery in it. So this thing is FMI off, like it said, so I'm gonna do a battery swap between these two because this battery is not fully installed and it's FMI off. I just want to see what it does when it's working, and yeah, cut to the time lapse. So this phone's turning on now, and what I should have said by installing new battery is what I mean by that is taking out a battery from here and just slapping it right on top of here. If this thing's worth anything, then I will buy it a new battery and actually do a decent repair on it. But I just want to test it out for now, because why rip out all the battery yet when I can do it in the future? And if I do end up repairing this phone, I will buy the part and I will repair it in this video, even if that means the video will come out later. Well, looks like it works. iOS 12.0.1. It's only a 16 gig phone and the screen is so horrendously yellow, but I want to see what year this phone thinks it's in. 2018. This phone hasn't been turned on since 2018. That is crazy. Okay, even though the screen is technically good, it's so yellow, I might just get a new screen for it because that's actually insane. So this phone works, and because I want to respect the person that owned this and because I want this to work for myself, I'm just going to erase all the data on it because I don't need their data and I want to set it up for myself anyways. But for now, I'm just going to keep it as is, and I'm going to order a new battery, and I think I might order a new screen for this thing as well because the screen is so crusty. All right, I'm going to move the battery from here back to there and close them both up and cut to the time lapse. Well, that's a wrap on these phones, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this phone back away where it belongs, and I don't know what I'm gonna do next. I'm just gonna play around with these for a little bit, and my update might not be for a little while. It may not be for a couple of days because it's gonna be a multi-day project. So as for now, the next update you'll probably see from me is in a couple days, so yeah.
3 days later.
We have another package. I bet you guys weren't expecting a 2-in-1 in this. And this is the part needed to fix this iPhone 6 into working condition. I just bought it because, well, I wanted to get it working if it's going to be the only thing working. So let's go ahead and unbox it and you will see what it is. Perfect, just what I needed. I asked the seller to include another battery strip because I have an iPhone 6 that does not have battery adhesive in it, which is the one that I used to test this phone with. So I asked him to include another battery strip because I'm going to fully install the battery, and I'm also going to include that in here. Thank you to the seller. You will be getting 5 stars, and I will mention that in the description of my review. And the part that I actually need, genuine iPhone 6 battery. This is just what I need. A little sticker in here, void. If removed, it's a warranty sticker. I don't really care. It's going to sit in the back of this phone anyways, so let's get this phone and my other iPhone 6 and do a battery installation on this and adhere the battery into this one. So we're going to have a nice, good video. So while I get my iFixit Protect Repair toolkit, I'm going to switch you to time lapse and get this video rolling. Well, I guess you could say repair 1 is complete. My personal iPhone 6. I had to do the adhesive strips off camera because I didn't know how to use them and they were just giving me trouble. But it doesn't really matter because it's my own. And, well, I repaired it. It took me, well, it should have taken me 5 minutes, but it took me like 10. And I had to look up a tutorial. But as you can see, it's turning on. I'm going to pull it away because some personal information is on the lock screen and I don't need to give out that. But as you can see, it works just fine, just like it did before. So now onto the gold iPhone 6. Alright, so I guess Apple hates me, so I'm gonna have to do the pry of death. Thankfully, I have one of these tools, which I've had to use way too many times. Don't do this yourself, especially with a live battery. This battery is completely dead, not a single bit of charge in it, so I'm just gonna pry and get it up. I'm not even gonna try to pull on the tabs because they're like 10 years old, so time lapse. Well, after a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, not actually, I got the battery out. This is why you never, ever, ever, ever attempt this with a fully charged battery, because this bend in a fully charged battery would have probably caused the battery to, I don't know, go into explosion. Do not ever attempt this with a fully charged battery or any charged battery if you can, because things will happen and you will get hurt and damage will occur. And this battery can never be used again. I had to puncture a hole. One of the strips was cooperative, the other wasn't. So now let's get the new battery installed. Well, this is the last thing I wanted to deal with, but the new battery that I just installed with adhesive has the exact same problem. So now I have to contact the seller, ask them to ship out a new battery, get more adhesive strips for this phone. And I'm just gonna ask them to send me a new battery because that's confirmed to work, because it doesn't draw power at all. Same exact problem. And it's not even like I installed the wrong battery, because this is the old battery. Hopefully the next video you will see from me is an update. But as for now, I'm just gonna close this phone because I'm mad, and I will come back to it at a later date. Okay, package number 3. This is getting out of hand. You guys are getting too lucky with this. I just got a replacement battery from the seller who sent me the battery to this that I just installed hopefully a few clips ago, but they sent me a replacement because, well, it doesn't work. So let's go ahead and open this up. I'm really hoping they sent me battery tabs because, well, that battery's installed. Yeah, so let's see. This is like identical to the one that I just opened not too long ago. They did, thankfully. More 5-star stickers. I actually will give them 5 stars because they decided to send me a replacement completely for free and just told me to discard of the old battery. And because of that, I'm gonna go ahead and show their little business card. Little iPhone. Now I have 4 of these. I'll actually test it this time before I put it in, but it's identical to the last one with battery pull tabs. So what better to do than to go ahead and dig right into this repair round 2 and try to get into this phone. But let's get my parts out first. So I'm gonna go ahead and put you on a time lapse in just a minute. Here we go. So before I decide to harass the seller about it not possibly working, I'm actually going to follow their advice and test the battery before I do a single thing with it, because I don't feel like wasting my time. So let's see if it turns on. Might just be out of juice, so we'll plug it in, see what signs of life we get. If I don't get anything, I'm not going to harass the seller anymore, and I will literally just order a battery from Amazon. So this battery is giving me the same thing as the last one, and I am no longer, I don't think it's even the battery. The charging port could have possibly gone out. So I'm going to pull this battery that is laying on top of this other battery and put it in one of my other iPhone 6s, see if it turns on, and possibly order another part. So we'll go ahead and get the other iPhone 6 out and take a look at it. But if I have to spend more than like $5 on a new part for this thing, I'm done with it. I will just scrap the phone out because I'm not wasting my money, because I've already had to get 2 batteries for it, and I don't even want to order a dot connector, but that is more of the seller's money that I don't feel like wasting my own money either. We'll go ahead and test the battery in this phone because, well, this phone has poor battery health anyways, so If it works, then there's clearly another underlying issue. So my personal iPhone 6 is booting up with a battery in it. And it turned off. I'll see if the battery is drawing power because my power charger says it's not. So I'll pull it away and see what it's doing. So I put the battery actually in the phone because this thing was being held down with the slightest bit of adhesive, and it's charging. So I'm gonna let it charge and then I might remove the battery out of this phone or something like that. But clearly something's up, so I'm gonna let it charge for a little bit until it turns on completely, and then I'm gonna move the battery over because there's clearly something going on. Okay, so it's been a little bit of time. I charged up one of the batteries, and I am like fairly confident the charging port has gone out on this phone. So we'll see what this phone looks like when it boots up, and I'm gonna connect it to power and see just what it does because that's not okay. And if it doesn't draw power, then I'm going to consider ordering a charging port replacement. I honestly feel bad that the seller went out of their way to ship me a battery that actually worked, even though I guess just not for me. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing turned on and see what it does. And I might order a new charging port. So it does draw power. Gotcha. So I'm a little confused. I guess I'll just disconnect the battery that's in here and see if the battery inside this phone will turn on, but well, I guess we'll cut to that. So I don't know if y'all see this, but it's not drawing power. So I guess it is the battery. So we're gonna get this battery out of here, get this new one installed, and I'll see if the battery in here works in another phone, but I'm not gonna be playing patty cake with batteries, and I'm probably just gonna end up throwing them out. So I guess I'll do a time lapse again. Hope you guys enjoy. So before I get too ahead of myself, let's go ahead and close this poor phone back up because I basically just used it as an experiment. I'm just gonna keep it all in one time lapse though. Well, as you can see from a somewhat painful, somewhat painless battery removal, I got it out and I put the new one in, and the dock connector does work, so it was actually just the battery. So I'm gonna let this thing turn on. I'm gonna quickly test all the functions, and I'm going to reassemble it and finally conclude this project that took way too long. Alrighty, looks like I'm gonna finish installation on this. More time lapse. Well, just about a week and some blood, sweat, and tears shed, this phone is finally fixed. It finally works just fine. There's nothing wrong with it. The battery is finally replaced. And battery health, it's got to be recalibrating, but it says it should be 80 to 90, actually 90 plus. But I'm going to go ahead and reset this phone and get it set up and get ready for sale. But I'm just glad this thing's finally fixed. So I'm gonna go ahead and reset it and get it set up. I'll do that on camera, and I will also clean this thing up, and I will do a sum up of this video. All right, so it's reset. Let's go ahead and get this thing set up. And if y'all watched my last video, y'all already know about the horrendously long Wi-Fi password, so that'll take me a second. All right, so getting this thing to activate. Shouldn't be any issue. Trying to get it to connect with my actual time because it thinks it's in California, even though it's not. And this should only take a second. Boom. Make sure Touch ID works. It does. I don't want to use a passcode. Set up as a new iPhone. Set up later. I never set up screen time because it always screws up my phone. Just the way I like it. Fresh copy of iOS 12. This thing's on iOS 12.0.1. I don't know what carrier it's for, but we did all that for iOS 12. And the battery health is at 93%, even though it literally had an unexpected shutdown before I could even finish setting it up. But that could also just be for the fact it's being a new battery. I'm gonna let this thing sit and charge for a while, but I'm gonna go ahead and do a sum of the video real quick. Well, it's been only over a week, but we finally have the result. We have 5 absolute junk phones and 1 decent phone. We have 2 iPhone 6S's, shattered LCD, obviously iCloud locked, shattered but not bad LCD, again, iCloud locked, fairly shattered but still usable LCD, again, iCloud locked, doesn't even turn on, iCloud locked. I don't even think the screen works that well. Oh well, I guess. All iCloud locked. I am going to be doing a trade with someone I know on TikTok. So this is everything I got out of this. This is all FMI on, FMI off. I put a lot of time and effort into this phone just to get you guys something that works. But yeah, iPhone 6. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment, like, and subscribe. Watch to the end, obviously. If you're here, you watch to the end. I have some more content coming soon. I, at the time, just ordered another lot coming soon. Thank you again for watching, and peace.